Hey guys, it's your girl Deborah Catch by Faith. Once again, coming in to check y'all's temperature and see how y'all doing. Um, I just want to talk about dating over 50. I had this conversation before a while ago. So, when the weather starts breaking and you've been around friends and family, you just want to get out sometimes and just enjoy more of your life over 50. We as older folks, we're settled. We know what we want. Um, and sometimes it can become a lonely period in your life when you start getting into your 50s. Is dating harder? I would say yes, it is. Dating is harder when you're over 50 because you've been there, you've done that, and there's just not a lot of things you're just going to settle for when you're in your 50s because you know, this is a place or a time or age where you want a companion. You want a companion. You want somebody compatible. You want somebody to spend quality time with and stuff like that there. And because you did the family, the friends, and the kids and stuff like that. Your work. You may be in retirement by now, and you just don't want to spend your life doing the same old same, being a people pleaser and doing everything for everybody else, and you forgetting about you. So now is the time for us that's over 50 to get out there and get our mojo back. There you go, get our mojo back. So I have been dating over 50, and well, I'm dating over 60. How's that? And so far it's okay. So far it's okay. It's nice to go out and have conversations and talk and go to lunch or brunch, go see a movie or something like that there. It's nice to spend time with somebody that's a gentleman. That's a gentleman and getting to know each other. And it all starts with conversation first. So also too, people think because you're over 50 that you're lonely or you're desperate. No, we're not lonely and we're shown enough not desperate. But people tend to feel that way, so they figure that they can just, well, she older, she, you know, she'll take any old thing or something like that there. Or sometimes we lower our standards when we're a certain age. We lower our standards because we think that we don't lower our standards, we won't be able to find nobody or have nobody. Wrong. Keep doing you. Keep You don't have to keep your standards out of like crazy standards, but keep being you and don't settle for what you don't want. Don't settle for what you don't want. So I find dating over um 50. I wanted to talk about some 10, give you 10 red flags, for us women to watch out for when we're dating over 50. Um and let's just talk about a few things. Uh, Number one is unwillingness to discuss the past. You know, we need to watch out for, and this for men, if you're dating a woman, and you're over 50, when this is for women dating men. And this is just pretty much like kind of like my opinion. You don't have to take it if you don't want to, but hopefully it'll be something in there that we can catch on. We can all learn together. And two, if you had over 50 experiences that kind of like went sour or, something like that there, put it in the comments. We could all talk about it. Um, avoiding avoiding questions about previous relationships. You know, if they're unwilling to discuss the past, that's what I'm talking about. Unwilling to discuss the past. If they are avoiding questions about previous relationships or becoming defensive when discussing the past or inconsistencies in their life story, you know, what I feel what you should do is if you notice this red flag, gently express your desire for open communication. You know, let them know that sharing their past experiences help build trust and understanding. And if they become too evasive, consider whether that would be the a relationship you want to go forward with, because there's two sides to a story, and most times we like to tell our side, or they like to tell their side, but they're somewhere in the middle. Is I think it's kind of like some fault in both parties on certain extent. Maybe if the dude was out there doing too much and you just stayed too long, so that gave him the idea that, well, anything I go, she's gonna be right there. No, no, go on about your business and call it a day. Two, financial instability or secrecy. Financial matters become increasingly important as we age, right? We got to watch our little pennies and cents. A potential partner who is financially unstable or secretive about their finances can be a major red flag in dating. Watch out for reluctant, to discuss financial situations, or frequent requests to borrow money, or lavish spending habits, inconsistent with their income. Like, you got champagne taste, but you got beer pockets. Sit down somewhere and be who you are, and don't try to impress. I don't like a man trying to impress me. Be who you are, and that's just it. Because it's gonna come out in the long run anyway, right? So have an open and honest conversation about financial expectations and goals. That's it. Three, unresolved emotional baggage. We all carry some emotional baggage, unresolved issues from past relationships or life experiences, right? Um, and they can somewhat impact our new relationships. So be wary of partners who seem to be stuck in the past or hold on to resentments. Watch out for constant negative talk about ex-partners, because, like I said, it takes two to tango. Um, Inability to take responsibility for past relationship failures. They always want to put it on the woman. She did this and she did that. What do you do? Uncontrolled emotions or outbursts related to past events. Don't talk about somebody and then you getting mad talking about them. Because if we break up, what you gonna say about me? And get all crazy and stuff like me. Something about me. No. So encourage your partner to seek. Ain't nothing seeking a little professional help or a little counseling or something like that. If they're struggling with unresolved emotional issues, and you care about that person, but they just can't, get out of where they're stuck. You can offer them support, but we have to remember that it's not our responsibility to fix them and their baggage, right? It's not, because then we putting that weight on us. No, that was in your past. Get some counseling, fix it, bro. Or I got to roll, because I'm not gonna be sitting there listening to somebody's past for months and months on end. Four, in past incompatible life choices. As we enter into our 50s on up, our lifestyles and habits are often well established, right? If there are too many conflicts and lifestyle choices, it can be a red flag if you want a long-term relationship. Meaning, we have to watch out for different views on retirement plans, incompatible health and fitness habits, conflicting ideas about how to spend, leisure time. Because, that has a lot to do with, a relationship too. You don't want to just be sitting there looking at the four walls, or you have a man or a woman that, they don't take care of themselves. So, or his retirement plans may be different with yours. He might want to go to Timbuktu and live there, and you might want to be like, no, that's not where I want to be, you know? So discuss your lifestyle preferences openly and look for areas of compromise. Got to compromise, in order for a relationship. It's not his way, it's not your way, but we can meet in the middle somewhere. How about that? 5, lack of independence. Independence is crucial in mature relationships. A partner who is overly dependent or clingy can be a red flag. You have to have some type of balance in life. Watch out for excessive neediness or demands for attention, difficulty spending time apart, or lack of personal hobbies or interests outside the relationship. Mm-mm. You don't want that clingy person in your life where you going, what you doing, where you at. No. Mm-mm. Encourage your partner to pursue their own interests and maintain their friendships with their friends. Set healthy boundaries and communicate the importance of maintaining individual identities in a relationship. He have his friends and his buddy, and he go hang out. You have your girls and your friends, and y'all go hang out. And in between that, y'all spending time together with each other too. It's important for you to have space in a relationship. This number 6 is disrespect for boundaries. Respecting personal boundaries is important in any relationship, but it becomes even more crucial when we're dating in our 50s. Amen. I gotta put an amen to that. A partner who consistently disregards your boundaries may not be suitable for a healthy long-term relationship. Watch out for pressuring you to meet your family and friends too soon. Insisting on physical intimacy before you're ready. Don't nobody like no fast behind man. Disrespecting your need for personal space or time. Mm-mm. Don't let them box you in. Don't let nobody box you in. You know, don't think because you're older, well, I just have to because I don't know when I'm going to be in another relationship or this may be my last rodeo. You got more rodeos than that coming. You don't have to settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Number 7, inability to communicate effectively. Communication is key in any, relationship. As mature adults, the ability to express thoughts, feelings, and concerns openly and respectfully is crucial. Avoid difficult conversations, resorting to passive aggressive behavior, or inability to listen actively or emphasize. It is important that we listen to one another. Practice open and honest communication in your relationship. If you're struggling, and you like this person and your communication is off, instead of sitting there bickering or arguing with each other, ain't nothing wrong with a little counseling. If you want to be with him or her, ain't nothing wrong with a little counseling so y'all can know how to communicate with each other. If y'all can't do it on your own, find somebody that's going to help y'all or give y'all some tools that's going to, make it work. Ain't nothing wrong with it. 8, lack of emotional availability. Emotional availability is essential for building a deep, meaningful connection. A partner who is emotionally distant or unavailable may not be ready for a committed relationship. All right? Watch out for difficulty expressing emotions, unwillingness to discuss the future of the relationship, keeping the relationship superficial or casual for an extended period. I am not going to be with you forever and a day, and you holding on to me, and it seems like it's not going nowhere. Like most times, I think every woman wants to be married at least once. Don't deal with somebody, especially over 50, that you're going to have to wait years and years. I ain't got years and years to wait. I want to know, from the beginning, are you willing to be married one day? Or get married one day. Not to say that I want to with that person, but just to be open about it. If it's, how long can you be somebody's girlfriend or boyfriend? While you want more, because people say I don't need a piece of paper. Yes, you do, because that piece of paper means a lot when something happens to your loved one, or you're in your relationship. You could deal with some. There's plenty of people I've seen that's been shacking for years. As soon as something happens, either the family takes over after you done been with this man or this woman for all that time, or if they were married and not divorced, and you've been shacking with him, waiting for him to get a divorce and this, that, and other. Here come the wife, and guess what? After 15, 20 years, she come in and she just take everything in one day. So yes, that piece of paper is important if you're having a long-term relationship and you want to get married. If you just want to keep things like that, that's fine. You go with your flow on how you feel. But as for me, I'm not being with somebody all that long time and something happens and that's just it. No, we're not doing that. Even in my long-term relationships, when it came to, you know, my partner's health or something like that there, because most of the time I knew in my case I knew more about his health issues than anybody else did, because we spent time together, we was going to the doctor, all this and all that there. So when I said, you need to get a policy, put something in your, get a policy just in case something happens, you have something that somebody can fall on with. So he put, his sister, and then he put me, and that's fine. If I was the wife, you put me first. But something like that there, that's what he wanted to do, that was fine. But as long as there's somebody I know that if something was to happen, I know who's going to come in or who's going to be taking care of this, that, and the other if we are not married, instead of being all crazy and chaotic. Number 9, inconsistent behavior or mixed singles. Consistency is key in mature relationships. A partner who displays inconsistent behavior or sends mixed signals may not be, fully committed, or may have underlying issues that need to be addressed. Watch out for those hot and cold behaviors. This refers to inconsistent actions or emotions in a person where they alternate between being hot and cold. I'm affectionate one day, I ain't the next day. I'm talking to you one day, I ain't got nothing to say the next day. Inconsistent communication patterns, making plans and frequently canceling. Yeah, we're going to go do this and that next week. Next week come, I got this, that, and the other to do. Get out of here. I ain't got time for that. Seek to understand the reasons behind their behaviors and express how it affects you. You got the right to say, well, what's going on? What's up with you? Every time we plan something, you always doing something else. Because to be told, they probably messing around with somebody else. Hello. let's be honest about it. And the last one is disregard for your friends and family. In your 50s, your relationships, I'll say our relationships with friends and family are, well established, and it's important to us. It's important to us. And a partner who shows disregard or disrespect for those relationships, that can be a red flag. Showing jealousy towards your close friendships, attempted, trying to isolate you from your friends and family members, or refusing to participate in, family events and whatnot. Don't let nobody box you in and separate you from your family and friends, because that's a person that's trying to be controlling. That's a control demon right there. So, communicate the importance of your existing relationships and clear expectations. Like, I let a guy know up front. I know just as well as women, just as well as I know men. It ain't got to be nothing that's going on, but I got men in my life, women in my life that's been there forever. And we're cool. So, you introduce them, but they can feel comfortable about it. Have them participate in your social circle, just like you want to participate in their social circle. And that's how you do that, because you have to have trust. You have to have trust. So those were my 10 red flags I feel we as older adults, especially women, should look out for. Now, I'm not saying, once again, that you should follow them, but do what's in your heart, but take heed to some of the key points, and remember to trust your instincts, communicate openly, set clear boundaries, take your time getting to know a man or a woman. Take your time. Pray and trust God to lead and guide you in all truths about who you're dating. Because if you pay close enough attention, you will see red flags, and don't try to ignore them thinking, well, that's all right, but no, that just all right, but starts to pile up like bricks, and it'd be brick at the brick at the brick, and now you got this wall up that you can't break back down, because you let so much go on, and now it's making you cuckoo. I am too old for the cuckoo-ness. We ain't doing that. So dating in our 50s offers a unique opportunity to find companionship, love, and fulfillment. By being aware of potential red flags and addressing them, we can navigate dating with confidence and increase our chances of building a healthy, happy, lasting relationship that may end up in marriage. I love seeing 70 and 80-year-old get married. No, I think that's a beautiful thing, you know. So remember, identifying red flags doesn't mean the end of a relationship, but it can open communication and a willingness to work on certain issues that can lead to stronger, more resilient partnerships, because it is crucial to prioritize our well-being and happiness above all else. So don't settle for less. Um, Deal with, if it's too much shadiness in a person, keep it moving. Because trust me, God there's somebody out there for everybody. There's somebody out there for everybody. We just can't jump on the first thing that we see and thinking that's it. No. Sometimes, people come into your life that's there for a reason, a season, or for a lifetime. We just have to pray and trust God and look at those red flags, and trust me, you'll know from your heart if that person is for you or not. Don't be so quick to think that I'm up there in age and um, this may be my last rodeo. No, there's more horses out there. It ain't your last rodeo. So be blessed, and I hope you enjoyed this little chat. And let's keep love alive. Let's keep love alive. Talk to you guys later. Deuces. I'm out.